What up?
Oh my god!
I loved it. That was
That's a
dope.
pretty dope
That was
intro,
dope.
man.
That was
Heel
dope.
Danny,
Oh my God.
baby.
Yeah, that was
Let's
dope.
go.
You have no idea how difficult it was just to do the simplest things about making that. But it's fine. It's great. I have that now forever, and I will never use it again. But it was a fun time making it. Little different scenery here. It's not Dave today. It's Noah. It's like when Vince McMahon was in WCW.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing something a little
Look at
different
you
today.
with your-
We're-
No, I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say the murder board. I can't wait to get to the murder board behind
Oh
you.
yeah, you like my murder board? Hey,
I like it's like Charlie from
connects.
It's Always Sunny.
I just want to be very clear that everything that we're going over today is on this board.
This guy.
These are the victims. All right, but we're gonna go over that. We should honestly say hi to the people in the chat first. This is my my first time taking control. Look at that. Look at that. We got
CG.
Yeah, let's go, CG.
My guy.
Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Yeah, how do you pronounce the last part? Would that be
Pacheco.
Vladimir? Yeah, we'll go Vladimir. Oh,
Hi on Aura. What up, dude?
What's
Hi,
up?
on
What's
Horror
up? How
1999. Yes, you were on early. We are all on.
And King Matthew.
Where is King Matthew? Yep, King Matthew as well.
King Matthew.
King Matthew, back in the building. Okay, yes. So the reason that we are doing this is, listen, I was a conformity gate believer. I was wrong. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that they weren't that high IQ level, that they were playing 4D chess over here. And I would have let it go. I really would have let it go too. And then I ended up coming across a short clip of an interview with the Duffer Brothers when they were being asked about conformity gate, and we're just gonna play that clip real quick. Just gonna pull that up, and this is my 13th reason for all you fans out there.
Your 13th reason. We don't have the audio on there.
The audio is not playing? Oh my god.
Nope.
Hold on. I don't know how to stream the audio, but the audio is playing on my end. Momentary. All right. Someone entertain while I fix this.
You're good.
Or you could just say,
Yeah, just play and we can read it. It's fine. Yeah.
That's true. There are subtitles. I have to fix the audio issue for other clips, though.
And just talk about what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, someone asked them in an interview what they thought of conformity gate and if they would ever come back and do it. And if they would ever come back and use the ideas of conformity gate and make something out of it. And then they said this. They said that in 20 years, if they needed money, they would do something down the line. And you know, as both like a fan of the show and someone who works in the industry, because we all work in the industry, you don't say that shit. That's horrible. Even if you believe that, why would you say something so awful? It's like, so you intentionally made what was the safe ending to a show and just did not care at all. And we're gonna get into how much they didn't care either, because it was horrendous. I have timestamps for like going through the documentary, because that's the first thing we're gonna go over. We're gonna go over the documentary first. And it's just crazy because I'm watching it with my girlfriend, and I think that's the funniest part about it too. So 3 minutes into the documentary, the Duffers are like, we have not planned an ending to
at all.
Stranger Things. Like I was like, pause it, and we just both turned and looked at each other. It's like, it's gonna be that kind of night. This is a 2-hour, this is a 2-hour podcast, and just to let everyone know, I broke down the blanking on the word, the documentary. I broke down the documentary into different segments. So right now I'm going over script completion because there's a lot of different times where they're talking about script completion. For instance, 35 minutes into the script or into the documentary, they are talking with a group of people on set, and while complaining that it's super difficult to be doing all of this because he's got kids, and I understand that. Of course, you know, it's stressful to be away from your kids. He's like, "You got kids?" He's like, "Yeah, I do have kids." And I understand. So it's like, all right, that's great. And then he's like, "We actually do have an ending for all of it. We have it all plotted out, and we just have to write it." And then it's crazy. It's so crazy because they blatantly lie to like so many people on set. They were making up stuff as they went along. Like they were in the writing room just making stuff up and then going to other people and telling them what to do. And I say it in this, but massive props to the set designers, because what we didn't realize, I think maybe a lot of us, is that a lot of it is not green screen or digital effects. There's a lot of like, so the pillars practical. And like those giant like things like Vecna's lair, that's all like giant foam constructions that they made. And the set designers were making this stuff all on the fly pretty much. And the idea of the Mind Flayer being a giant monster, which they did use some practical effects for, was something that came up way late, and was something that they had to figure out how to make way late too. So I don't know why the Duffers made this, but I can tell you why. I can tell you why Netflix released this: to save their own asses. Because they're like, listen, we didn't do this. And also, this really takes a huge weight off of everyone else's shoulders too, because everybody in this documentary is being represented as people who somehow made this season without any competence behind the wheel, and it's tragic. It really is tragic.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it's funny too how like I mean, this happens on series and movies all the time where you know the script is constantly changing, things are being written, but this was like way beyond the norm. So like when they were, I think even when they were filming episode 4, remember Noah, they were trying to figure out how to write episode, was it 6 or 7, one of the two, that they hadn't written the episode at all, like, and they wrote that entire episode on the fly. Like,
it's actually funny you mentioned that. So that's actually my last point in the script completion chapter, we'll call it. There's two. The camera crew is filming 2 associate producers, talking about episode. It appears like they're talking about episode 6, as Marcus is talking about. But now that I went back and rewatched it, because I wanted to make sure that I heard it correctly, because it felt so asinine to hear what I was hearing. It seems like it might also have been episode 5 was filmed this way as well. But they're crossing out. So they're talking like, all right, that episode's done, that's completed, and they're taking off these giant like whiteboard calendars that are filled with sticky notes, and they're crossing out sticky notes. And then the camera crew asks them, "You guys have a script, right?" Like, no. And they're saying that we're filming all of this basically by the sticky notes and on the go, and that is insane to me. And you're right, like there is a, you know, there are many instances where scripts are changed on the fly on TVs and movie and stuff like that. But you also, to your point, this is much worse than what anyone can imagine. Like, you are not even like, you are giving people word of mouth which is something that someone had said in the documentary as well. But to also say in 2022, and I think they said it previously too, but I know for a fact they said in 2022 that they had the ending planned out from the beginning. They had it all lined out. They said it would be either 4 or 5 seasons. They just didn't know whether it would be 4 or 5 seasons, but they had it all planned out. So it's like, that's crazy how you've just been lying to everyone from the start. And it's such a...
Well, to be fair, Noah, when I write, and Marcus knows this, my style and some other people's styles is you have a beginning and an ending. You just don't have the middle. You have to connect the dots, right? And I feel like that's exactly what happened. You know how, you wanted to defeat Vecna, all this other jazz, have everyone have a happy ending, but they just couldn't fill it in properly, right? And listen, I've done some crazy stuff as an indie filmmaker. I usually don't shoot with shot lists, even though it does help. You know what I mean? I don't, because I see it in my head. I'm like, we're going. This is it, right? And then sometimes, depending on location or props or anything else, you have to adjust. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, I had this angle in mind, but now we have different location stuff. Now we got to switch it, whatever. But to do it on set day, as in like I have no idea what I'm doing, that would never happen.
Yeah, they're filming. So they're filming episode 8 actually without a script for 8, and they're saying we don't even know what the ending is. We don't know what the ending to the finale is while we're filming it, and it's so like I do understand like the stresses, especially with big production companies, and I could only imagine what it's like dealing with a streaming service like Netflix. No offense to Netflix, we would love a Nerdbox TV show, but you find out throughout this that it's not on Netflix. It really isn't on Netflix. It's just because like I said, to your point, you would have a script at least. Like we would all have scripts. We would have something, because to especially within a 3-year time frame, minus the SAG strike, because that was between July and November of 2023. So that you got to give them credit for that, because you're not supposed to be right. As far as I know, you're not supposed to be writing during that. But and we're going to talk about that later on. But you had 3 years to do this, and you still didn't even have a script for the ending of the show while you're filming it. And it just rubs me in the bad way.
Yeah, and insult to injury, like you have us fans, right? And you have other fans that are also in the creative industry like we are. And we came up with better endings, better ideas, all this other jazz. And it's kind of like, all right, who's the consultants on these things, right? Who's the one that is helping out, or they want in full control? Again, for me personally, I feel they pulled, like I mentioned before, they pulled a Game of Thrones. I feel like, hey man, we just got to get this contract done, right? We got other shit to do. And that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes someone gives you a bigger contract and all this other jazz, and you're like, hey man, I'll do that project, but we got to finish this Netflix shit, right? King Matthew, you're right. You know what I mean? You're absolutely right. This is what I'm getting at. To be rushed is that you all of a sudden you get offered a bigger contract or something else, a bigger deal, and then you're like, oh man, we got to focus on this. Oh, but what about Stranger Things? Yeah. We'll get to it, right? Yeah, we'll get to it. We got to focus on this. And that's probably what happened, man. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh shit, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, what we were supposed to do again? I mean, think about it. Even the Game of Thrones writers, the creators of the show, because they got ahead of the book, they just made some asinine calls. And then when they were interviewed behind the scenes, it was, oh, well, Daenerys forgot that the fleet. I'm like, you mean Daenerys, the person that had the plan from the entire time? She just forgot that these people were coming, right? What? Like, it just doesn't make sense, man.
It's just a Monday. It's a Monday brain. You know what happens. And I think it's funny that you meant, like, it is fair to mention Game of Thrones, especially because of the debacle that happened when it was such a big thing. And I feel like what also played a part into that was the lack of story from George R.R. Martin. Is George R.R. Martin? Yeah. And at least I feel like he probably played a hand in it, because he hasn't written the final book yet, and as from what in his cryptic wording, it sounds like he's not going to. He said something in an interview, it was really weird.
He's always postponing it. Every interview is, yeah, I'm working on it, or no, I'm not working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. No, I'm not working on it.
He said that he has no plans on what happens if he dies, if it's not finished, and he doesn't plan on. And he said if it doesn't get finished, it doesn't get finished. That's basically what he said. But I think there's a common denominator right here. Like there's a person missing in season 5, and we're gonna get to that. It's an early segue.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is that us anime fans, we said it with Game of Thrones. We're like, now you know how we feel when the anime gets ahead of the manga. Because usually when the anime gets ahead of the manga and ahead of the comic, it's usually trash, with the exception of like Full Metal Alchemist, which they were way ahead of the manga and created a fantastic story. And then they came out with another one more according to the manga, which was amazing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's the same ticket.
There's very few animes I've seen that I've been watching. It's like, thank you for sticking to the story, because it doesn't really happen. I don't want to get angry about two things on one podcast.
Yeah, let's focus on Stranger Things.
I'm just using it as an analogy, guys. You know what I mean?
That's all good.
Yeah. I think with the difference with Game of Thrones and maybe these anime writers too is like, I think they try at least, right? With the Duffer Brothers, they admit 5 minutes into the documentary they had no interest in being writers, and that they would intentionally just pump out bad script after bad script to Hollywood executives because that's what they thought that they would want and get them into being directors in the future. And if you go on their IMDb's, they don't have a listed IMDb together, other than the one for Stranger Things, but everything that they have listed, they worked on together. Everything they've done, they worked on together. And their writing is 3 to 5 stars. And it's what banger after banger, 2 minutes apart, you say 2 things that make me just want to hit my head off a wall. Like, we genuinely thought that you cared about this, and you're like, yeah, man, we don't even like writing, which is why we didn't have a script for the second half of the season.
Dumb.
It's yeah. Oh, and you know how we all talked about how they should kill people off in the final season because they would have added weight to it. They made that joke. They sit down for the first table reading like, oh, we should probably, because there was a lot of people. Like it kind of looked like something you'd see in The Godfather. There was just like a full row of people, and I mean they even said in an interview that they didn't intend on adding any more characters this season other than Linda Hamilton because they didn't want to broaden the cast. And then you add Holly and her entire group of friends, and then nobody dies. So, it's crazy
happens this entire season.
Yeah,
nothing, dude. The best thing was Will getting powers.
Yeah,
the best thing was the reference to Harry Potter, that Will was connected to Vecna, like how Harry Potter was connected to Voldemort. That was the closest thing, man. That, you know what I mean? That was the best thing that happened this season. Other than that, man, it like you guys said, and especially you, Marcus, is like nothing happened. Nothing happened. You know, the fake out. I think the greatest fake out was when what's his breath? Not Jonathan.
Steve.
When Steve was about to die, and it's like, no, he's not dying, dude. Like. And then when Millie Bobby Brown had the interview, and she was complaining about that, nobody dying, there's no depth, no weight, and they retorted in a snarky way saying, "This is not Game of Thrones." That's exactly what they said. The Duffer Brothers.
Man, you really it brings me back to like 2015 or something like that. Like when the Seahawks were in the playoffs, I saw someone get a tattoo of them going to the Super Bowl and adding a new mark to them going to the Super Bowl, and then they lost the next playoff game. And that's kind of what it felt like. You jinxed it. You jinxed it so hard, I feel. But I can't even give it the jinx thing, because it's like they didn't put effort into jinx themselves.
Yeah.
Like even if they killed off if they killed off Mrs. Willer, I thought that would have been epic because of the fact that here you got a mom that didn't know what was going on, didn't really like believe in anything with the kids and stuff like that. To go out the way that she did, that would have been
both the parents.
His head doesn't even bite it. He goes through a wall. He went through a wall.
Yeah.
They really should have played more into
They didn't do it.
They couldn't commit. And when Hopper shot into the thing, that got me too. I knew it wasn't gonna be real, but I knew it's like, dude, that was so smart that they did. I liked that they did that because there's not many things about the later, like 5 through 8. It's just a dull second half of the season, and they should have played more into that. He should have been like doing that manipulation stuff more. That would have been at least it would have been more interesting for a second half of a season that fell apart. And I like that you mentioned that Will gets powers, and I thought it was cool that he got powers, and I also like that he came up with the idea that he should have his hands like this instead of like this because he's siphoning the power from Vecna. They're not his powers. So I love that he came up with that idea on his own. At least someone's coming up with ideas. The Duffer said that he's the heart and soul of this season. He's on screen for 67 minutes of the season, and Holly is on screen for 95 minutes, and she's on screen for more than all other main characters. And I also want to point out Joyce, who is the reason that everyone probably decided to watch Stranger Things in the first place and decided to get their kids into watching. Like, hey, you're going to watch this because Winona Ryder's in that. Who's that? Shut up. You're going to love her. She's in and Heather's. It's like it and then to not even have her in the show really at all, and to find out that most of her scenes is a body double. Wild. She didn't even know that she was if she was in the ending or not.
That's crazy. And then King Matthew, I had that problem too, man. Like you're telling me this is the battle of the battles, right? That you're going into the parallel world and you're going into the abyss and no demi-bats, no demigorgons, no nothing. Like, dude, it should have been like nightmare fuel when you stepped into that place. It should have been nightmare fuel, and they should have been hiding and, trying to get away. Maybe Will does his amazing powers and controls the army to fight half of the other army. It would have been awesome. But the fact of the matter is like we said, just the lack of conviction, the lack of writing, the lack of ideas is just insane to me. And also the way you killed Vecna off. You're telling me this dude stopped bullets the whole nine, yada yada, and then Joyce cuts off his head like that. And then also
it took several swings.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It was same thing with Nancy Rambo, bro. You're telling me the government had freaking high artillery weapons that are more than what she has on her, could not damage demigorgons. But then Nancy Rambo, let's go, right? Like I said, I think the best way to tie it in a pretty bow would have been with all these inconsistencies is, like I said, you end the series and it goes back to episode 1 and they're like, oh, we're done with our D&D game.
It definitely would have been better than what we got. I will certainly agree with that. And it's funny, you and King Matthew basically segued us into my next point. Other than the fact that they were using Reddit and ChatGPT, I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh boy.
Or didn't they even before you move on, or didn't they even make a comment when they were at the writers' table trying to come up with stuff? One of the other writers, it was one of the women that was in there. She was like, "Don't you think we need more demigorgons?" And one of the brothers was like, "No, it's like one too many."
Shout out to it was writer Paul Ditcher. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He said it would be crazy not to have demogorgons, demodogs, bats of any kind in the final fight scene. And then you know what happens? You get Ross Duffer with a pen in his mouth going, And then someone a female writer chimed in and mentioned demo fatigue, which for some reason everyone agreed existed. It's like, what are you talking? They're barely in the show. You cock tease us every single season by barely giving us them, and then we love every scene that they're in. Who said that we were tired of the Demogorgons? Everyone was asking where the bats were in the trailer, and you thought there was gonna be demo fatigue. Like, get out of it. You just introduced the bats. They killed Eddie, a character that was so beloved. The Demodogs killed Bob, who was so beloved in their first season. Like, dude, that is the dumbest, like, that you just aren't thinking. You're not thinking.
Absolutely. And how are you going to have a movie or a show based on monsters with no monsters?
With no
right?
monsters.
It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. Dude, that's that. So The Last of Us, I have many gripes with The Last of Us because I'm a huge fan of the video game, right?
Yeah.
But the one big thing that I had with season 1, I didn't even watch season 2 because it was a monstrosity, but season 1, why are we focused on the human stories? Why are we like, they play a part, yeah, but the main thing that everyone's scared of and the main thing that everyone is trying to survive, hence why the humans are taking each other out for each other's resources, is the fucking zombies. And they're barely any zombies in the
RPGs
show.
I think it's so difficult to do the RPGs, man, because there's so much content in The Last of Us. Like,
you could have had 4 seasons of the first game.
Exactly. Like, you can't just like, all right, we're gonna do one game, one season. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't. There's too much. There's like 30 to 70 hours of gameplay on average in story-based gameplays, and that's like smaller ones. That's not talking about things like, Elden Ring's not really story play, but there's way too much story and gameplay in to be able to do something like that. And it's, I mean, great. That's not what the issue is with this, but another thing to get angry about.
No, but the analogy is that how are you going to have the show and have this young writer who probably doesn't have a lot of credits and stuff like that, no disrespect, right? That just goes, oh, we have fatigue. No one ever said that. We want more. Give us more. All of us wanted more, especially when you killed off Eddie. And the fact of the matter is that, first off, they killed the wrong character. You could have killed Sam. What's her breath? Sam, right?
Max.
No. Max, thank you. I always mix her name.
Her name's Cindy Sink.
Yeah, you can literally killed off Max. That would have been amazing, heartfelt depth. Eddie takes her place. You know what I mean? And now you have Eddie, who is an awesome character that everyone loves and who is also a badass. Continue pushing on with everybody.
Yeah. And it's. It just sucks too, because there was at a point in the documentary, I wasn't able to get a screen grab of it, but there was a point in the documentary where there's a whiteboard behind Matt Duffer, and it mentions that it basically plays out the final fight scene, but it's filled with all of the demo creatures, right? And they're getting overwhelmed, people are dying, and then you have Will, who harnesses his power to not only fend off the creatures, but he also takes over the Mind Flayer, and it almost kills him. It almost kills him, and then they had Elle fight off Vecna herself. It's like you had it right there. You had how week 5 through 7 was. If you gave us that an 8, I would have been so fine with that. I would have been so fine with it. You would have given us service. It would have had the season finale would have had weight, but instead, no. You joke an hour and 16 minutes into the documentary, Mr. Ross Duffer, I'm looking at you, that you say that you didn't even fully read the season finale all the way through while on set for the season 8 finale. Are you kidding me? It's like, I said, it gets worse and worse.
Of course.
Like, to me, honestly, episode 6 was pretty strong when, like, Dustin discovered the what was it called?
The exotic matter.
Yeah, exotic matter. Episode 6 was solid. Minus the breakup scene. Episode 6 was solid. Like Dustin, figuring everything out. If they would have just kept that tone, and because to me they set up a lot of stuff, opened up a lot of questions, and there was no consequences. There was no.
Nope.
They're intentionally leaving it open, as they said.
Like with the whole military bit. Military bit. You bring in somebody as cool as Linda Hamilton. I was cool with the military being there, but there was no payoff for it. It's
they played no purpose.
Up and
you take them out, they do nothing.
Who is she? Who is she to this day?
Exactly.
No one knows.
Exactly.
And then, and all she did, honestly, she just pretended to be Papa.
She even had the same hair.
Did not explain if that was his wife, if that was his sister, if that was anybody. How does she know this? How did they get the army base down there? I have so many questions, right?
Like even with Dustin getting jumped, like there was no consequence to that. You know,
there was no purpose.
When him and Steve got into it, and Steve was like, you know, he figured out, oh, you got jumped because of your mouth. Like that's it. I was like, dude, it was so much wrong with this season, man.
And then season 4,
1 through 4 and 6 was good, but then it was just like that, you know.
But season 4 ended like because I was rewatching some stuff, and season 4 ended with the whole world, or at least there, cracking open, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything's dark, everything's gritty, and they're standing looking at the cloud and like, hey, we're gonna go over, right, and fight. Then it just starts that, oh yeah, time has passed, and we're all just ha 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 ha.
Yeah, like
oh yeah, we just covered the cracks with metal plates.
They literally put a band-aid on that giant story. Like you left that open. Like that would have been so cool to see. Like you just pick up where you left off. Like they already were looking super old, so it didn't really matter. Like just pick up where you left off. Have them all just coming out and flooding Hawkins. That would have been so cool,
dude. Or even you could have started with a time skip, right? Because they are older, and you're seeing they're just trying to survive. Everything in Hawkins is done already, right? Everything's damaged, people are dead, and they're just trying to survive, right? That like a true survival horror. You know what I mean? That would have been a dope take too in this last season.
The Abyss was a cool idea, but realistically, we didn't need it. Yeah, we didn't really need it. All it did was it almost killed Steve because it didn't poke a hole in the Abyss the right way, and that was it. Like, other than that, like it was nothing. It looked like Venus. Like that was it. And also, how could they breathe? They called it a planet. How are they breathing in that atmosphere? So many questions.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like the theory that someone said that it was the future of it was their future Earth where they lost, and that's how they use the time warp.
I would have been okay with that.
It's better than not having.
If they would have set it up, if they would have set it up like that,
yeah, it's better than not having any answer at all.
We never found out who unlocked the door. That's right.
Yeah, which they said we would get.
Also, Vecna and Joyce went to high school. Yep, they have it in the memories. Nothing happened.
Yep.
Right. And then King Matthew's comment, pull it up real quick. Yeah, dude, I agree with you. I've said it before, 10 minutes, right? And that was it. And then you had a 45-minute feel-good story. You literally could have shortened that to 10 minutes and added more. And easily, if you wanted to beat Vecna that way as like a fake out, cool. You should have had Vecna take over Will. Again, that adds depth and like, how do we kill our best friend? And then you have Joyce, who's overprotective. Now she's like, that's my son. Now you have a rift. How do we do this, right? And so now you can have everyone attacking each other. You know what I mean? Trying to get this done. More destructions happening because they can't find a way how to destroy Will without killing him. Yada yada. I mean, you have so much good ideas out there, man, to have wrapped this in a pretty bow.
Yeah, and to Vladimir's point, Vecna's also basically elastic. And I guess like he was feeding more on the vines, and the vines are stretchy or whatever. And I don't know. There's so many problems with this season. Like the
Mind Flayer should have killed Vecna.
What's up?
The Mind Flayer should have killed Vecna because
the Mind Flayer is also supposedly canonically dead.
Yeah, it's stupid. But what I'm saying is that I am the Mind Flayer. We are one, right? And then all of a sudden, you just see him get killed and absorbed, and the Mind Flayer is the real threat.
And then he goes back, and then he goes back into Will because remember, he was never the hive mind's never truly broken, and he's a part of the hive mind.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
First off, that's how you should honestly. If you ended it at season 5 like that, I would have been okay with it because that's how. Like, if you're gonna leave all these plot holes to potentially leave it open in the future for another, like for more content, then leave it. Don't leave it as a happy ending. Leave it as an open.
Your ending was good too, man. The whole thing that everyone's trapped. That's how you leave it open. Everyone's trapped in this Vecna illusion, right? And they actually lost. And then you can have, 11 or 8 or somebody, you know what I mean, wake up and it's like, oh, snap, and then try to rescue everybody, right?
Yeah. And again, to Vladimir's point, we were supposed to get a payoff to that drawing, to the dragon drawing from season 4. There was supposed to be a payoff to that. There was never a payoff to that. Also, the best friends of since season 1 barely had any screen time together, Mike and Will. And the screen time that they had together where they're talking after the coming out scene, that was Will's idea, that was Noah Schnapp's idea as well. And it's like it's crazy that everyone has to make the show better for the director and the writers.
Yep. That is terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I didn't mention it when we were talking about Conformity Gate, but there's a final form to the Mind Flayer. I can't remember what it's called, but basically what it does is every person that's within a 5-mile radius, they can basically attach tendrils to them as they did with Holly and her friends.
Oh my God, that would have been beautiful.
Their reality to where they won, to make them believe that they won. So it kind of feeds into that idea too. It's like, and I think that I don't want to give them the credit, but maybe that's what they're intending, especially since they're also supposedly working on a secret Montauk project in the future as well now. I know, right? Like, it's crazy. It's insane. There's like 5 projects and no one's gonna watch them.
They're probably watching all of our videos and everyone else, reviewers and all these ideas just to try to make something, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That, all of a sudden, we got season 6 and it's amazing.
And King Matthew has a point. Yeah, they had to make it ambiguous, which is something that they also argued about during the writing of the show. They never even kind of came to that conclusion basically until the end. And it's because they couldn't decide. They were too afraid to make a decision.
They fell into that Walking Dead trap. That's what.
Oh my God!
That trap of the Walking Dead.
Oh my God! The Walking Dead comic was way better than the damn show. Jesus Christ!
That's the thing is because it was consistently good, and that's what I appreciate about the comics with The Walking Dead. But with this, they both agreed basically that 11 had to leave the main group in order for the group to heal and move on. It's like, what?
So I get the idea. Is that a reality? Well, I get the idea that some shows and cartoons and animes have done it, is that the main character realizes, I'm the problem. This is why all these bad things are happening, right? And I get it.
Like Sons of Anarchy did it, but they did it right, though.
Yeah, they did it right. And he went out with a bang, dude, which was incredible, right? But if 11 really sacrificed herself, like Marcus was saying, there had to have been some consequences, man. Because there's no way that you're a domestic terrorist and the army that is a top secret, by the way. This division is top secret that no one knows about, not even the other parts of the government. Top secret is going to let you live. There's no way. So her sacrifice should have been, she saves everyone, but everyone else dies. She brings everyone with her. She just
pulls them all in with her, and they all like they're all trying to hold on. What
should have happened was when it exploded, and everything was getting sucked in, she should have used her powers to save everyone. You know what I mean? Like push them into a hole or whatever. And then everything
it's
just
dripping a hole in space time, and it's not strong enough to pull anything through it like people.
Exactly.
Come on, kind of crazy.
Yep. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, the Duffers showed no enthusiasm throughout the entirety of the making of this documentary. It's like Henry was, or I'm sorry, I'm calling him Henry. Jamie Bauer was like super excited to talk about the his character and why he believed what he believed the symbolism was behind why Henry still chose to go back to his old home instead as his safe space and the safe space for his homes. And he also wanted to talk about Patty, and Matt's just like, yep. Yeah, sounds great. And just basically like shoos him off. And it's crazy. And in the final script read too, like they're doing the final table read, everyone's crying and they're just sitting there. And I really feel like it's those kind of moments where like the camera crew is intentionally catching those moments. And because I don't think the Duffers were behind the making of this. I think that they were just allowing like a crew to come into making it. Yeah. At least from what I've seen. So I think the camera crew was doing it intentionally. I feel like they were kind of like catching what they knew the audience would want, which is the truth. It's just that the Duffers were trying to feed you this reality that they were some great writing duo and this great upcoming director duo. And the truth is they're neither. They're sad. They're sadly not neither. And once again, massive props to everyone else that made this season happen, because the Duffers didn't do it, and unfortunately, I have to say Sean Levy didn't do it either. He fell right into that same trap of like he forgot that and like I will say I'll give him credit because like I could probably do the same thing, whereas like in today's day and age it's more accepted. People are not going to care that there's a lesbian couple on screen screaming loudly that they love each other, but nobody knew, and everybody in the show knew that nobody knew. So how do you to forget that while filming? It's kind of crazy. It and that leads us right into divorce gate theory, which is that the reason that season 5 was so bad is because Lee Janiak, I believe is how you pronounce her last name, Ross Duffer's ex-wife, left the show and left him mid-season, mid-creation of this show. And the theory is that someone who has a very well-renowned IMDb list, making Fear Street and all that, was actually the one who's writing and producing the content,
and they took credit
for season 1 for.
Oh, I believe it.
She also she doesn't even have a special thanks, and she was on the set season 1 through 4. And so so going back to SAG-AFTRA, right? We're gonna go into the timeline, but I'm thinking that while SAG-AFTRA strike happened, because they got divorced a month after they started refilming Stranger Things. I'm thinking that they did those things that they were saying. We're going to get the answers to the unlocked door. We're going to get deaths. We're going to get a whole bunch of these things. I think it was going to happen. And I think that it was going to happen because she was writing it and she wanted credit. And when the SAG-AFTRA strike happened, she brought it up. And I think that Ross, and probably Matt as well, said no. And so they didn't disclose why they got divorced.
Or it could be that being because it was irreconcilable strike at the time. Yeah, being that the writer strike was going on. If she is indeed the writer and they're not giving her credit, she is entitled to take.
I hope that she says something, like truly, if that's the truth, because she hasn't come out and said anything. She's been very quiet amidst all of this.
Well, she might be on the contract.
NDA. Yeah, and that's something that he's not here, but that's something that Dave brought up. Is that he thinks that a lot of them are signs they can't say many things about it, which is why they try not, like when they ask them about the ending of the show, they kind of just make faces and then give very pale answers. And yeah, so I think that's what happened, and we're gonna go down a timeline of events. And in August of 2022, Matt and Ross announced that they started writing for Stranger Things season 5, and that's technically 3 years before the show had come out. And they started filming early 2023. They announced that they started filming early 2023, and then it was delayed in July because of SAG-AFTRA, and then in November, SAG-AFTRA had ended. They then started filming again in January of 2024. And in February of 2024, Ross and Leah had gotten divorced for what they said was irreconcilable differences. I think I got the word right that time.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. So nothing else elaborating on that. And then Stranger Things finished filming in December of 2024. And then we got it in November. So that's just basically the quick timeline. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about two very important people. One being Leah Janiak, and another one being Jess Royal, who is an Emmy-winning set designer for every single episode of Stranger Things. She also worked on Fear Street, and Fear Street comes back into play because Lee Janiak is the writer, director, and producer for the original trilogy. Those range between 8 to 9 stars on IMDb. And while, yes, it takes from certain key elements and characters from the R.L. Stine's novel series, the story that she created in the trilogy is her own. That it's her completely original story. And Prom Queen, which had no involvement with her at all, and failed. I will say, I personally thought it was fun. It definitely wasn't as good as the trilogy, but I thought it was fun. It followed the stories more personally. Prom Queen is an actual book. They follow.
Yeah, but like you said, she's not a part of it. So
it's not a part of it, and it did not do well.
Yeah.
Jess Royal was also a part of that as well. And it's crazy because she speaks very highly of Lee. She even said in an interview or at a podcast, which unfortunately I can't show you because I can't bring up the audio, but she said that basically if you wanted to get in and make a name for yourself, you would go through Leah or Lee, and she is the reason behind getting most of the DPs and she had the ability to recognize talent. I can put links to the podcasts and stuff like that. SCAD Films, I believe it's called, for the one that I'm talking about. She basically just said that she was the woman behind Stranger Things. She made it happen, and I like that's what I'm saying. I'm so hoping that she comes out and says something, because so how many times have we seen in the media industry women not getting their dues when they deserve it in film and in music, and it's disgusting. It's vile, and especially like if this is your wife, and you're not giving her credit. And my girlfriend pointed it out while we're watching it. So I can't remember if I think it was a set designer, but he worked with his wife and they were working together for like 40 years. They credit themselves together and they were credited in the documentary together. It's like, that's what you do right there. Like if your wife is better at writing than you, just say that. Like there's no shame in it. Like
she's the writer and I'm directing, dude. There's nothing wrong with that.
Who cares?
Well, it's skill. It's different skills, man. Right? Not everyone can be everything.
Yeah.
And then even if you were somewhat talented in a lot of things, there's always going to be someone better. So why not, man? Dude, if my lady could write, man, and I can make her vision come to life, awesome. Right? Why not?
Current example of that is Coogler and his wife. Coogler always give credit to his wife of producing everything and putting everything together for him to make his job easier.
Easier. Got to.
Yeah.
Got to, man. Got to give credit.
Yeah, and it's. Oh, I should point out, Marcus, you'll love this. Lee directed 2 episodes on the Scream TV show. Season 1, episode 7.
Yeah, I know about. I know about those.
I wanted to make sure I got that out there.
Popular episodes. Yeah, those were the most popular episodes.
Yeah, and once again, proving the point that like even if she wasn't behind maybe season 1 through 4, I don't believe that. I really do truly believe that she is behind. At least I'm not saying she came up with all the ideas, but I definitely think that she is a large reason as to why the show was so successful in its writing.
I would believe she's a part of season 1, 2, and 4, because 3 was kind of a you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
3 felt like
3 was hit and miss.
So I can feel like that she was behind 1, 2, and 4. Maybe he's like, oh, we're gonna do 3, baby. We got this. You know what I mean?
To counter your point, season 3 had a bigger threat of the Mind Flayer than it did in season 5.
That's very true.
Like it had so much potential, but it kind of fell apart. You know?
Yeah. Season 3 did have a lot of potential, but they played more into tropes instead of actually playing into the story, which season 3
because I love the whole I love
the colors and I love
everything was perfect with Mind Flayer controlling Billy and Billy's character, but it just
shout out to him. I can't remember his name because he's got a really advanced curriculum name, but
I always call him Red Ranger because he was in the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, great in both Stranger Things and Power Rangers. By the way, we just watched it not too while ago. Like that movie's not fantastic, but he's an amazing actor. I'm glad that he got to show his performance in season 3.
I like the Power Rangers movie.
Thank you, King Matthew. Yes, if he really died and did not get killed by Russians,
before writing season 4.
But then also, this is again another inconsistency plot.
Yeah,
Linda Hamilton in season 5. We need to get this before the Russians. The Russians been there, dog. They had it way before you.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of plays into the trope with the space race, right? It's like, oh, we got to beat them with the space race, and then Russia beat us at every turn, except for when we landed on the moon.
Dude.
It's like this. I guess it's playing into that. I think that they just forgot. I really think that the Duffers just forgot, and that's what happened. Because that's the thing. Where are the Russians? Like, you have to imagine that that's not their only base,
bro,
that has these things. And
bro, it would have made more sense if that wasn't the U.S. government and it was the Russians, since they had it from the beginning.
Oh my god,
it would have made more sense that the Russians were in there, dude.
And they infiltrated, the U.S. That would have been so cool.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, because they were already in Hawkins too.
Yes.
That season 5 had so many alternate routes it could have taken, and they just chose apparently the worst one. Like, they're Doctor Strange looking at the timelines, and they chose the worst one instead of the best one.
I remember when I met the Ukrainian actor that played the real big dude in season 3, the big Russian.
Yeah.
And he was saying that season 3 was supposed to be like way different, like in the original scripts that they had and stuff like. A lot of stuff was supposed to be different. Yeah,
and Scream 3
supposed to be different. Yeah.
It's the rule of threes, except Stranger Things season 5. We don't like that's a whole different ball game. But and then also, like, you have like an hour. You do the final fight scene, right, and then you have like an hour left. And I liked all like the payoffs and everyone's showing their happy ending except for Mike, right? Yeah, like
45 minutes.
Yeah, right. Except for Mike, by the way, you give Mike the most tragic ending ever. He like that, it's awful. And then you have Millie Bobby Brown, who gets to go to Iceland for 5 days.
Just chill.
Yeah, to film like a 2-minute scene. She's like, it's crazy. Like, how could you do that to it? I can't imagine how you could just rightfully do that to a person. It's like, yeah, we think that this is gonna work for the show. Do you?
They did it to Mark Hamill. They did it to Mark Hamill, dude. The end of Force Awakens, when she's holding out the lightsaber, and we don't talk about
that kind of nerd stuff on here. If we did, I'd be ripping into that. But I don't even want to talk about that stuff.
We got to do a Star Wars one, because I got a comment on that where I say people don't put enough blame on J.J. Abrams on the state of.
It's
not only JJ. Listen, Jar Jar Abrams. It's not only on Jar Jar Abrams. Okay, listen. It is also. It's also the fact that nobody yes-anded anybody. Right?
Yeah.
No one yes-anded anybody. And on you guys that are watching, if you go on YouTube and type in Star Wars Duel of the Fates, that's what episode 9 was originally, before Jar Jar came back. And they had a different director, and what he did was he tied what JJ did and what Rian Johnson did into a pretty bow, dude. And then you find out that Rey, because no one can figure out what she was, you find out that Rey was, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, that her lineage, because remember, nobody knew who she was, that she was actually a descendant of one of the Knights of the Old Republic Jedis.
Oh.
Like Bastila Shan or something like that. Yeah.
I think I would have preferred if Darth Jar Jar made an appearance instead of Palpatine somehow returning in 9. I would have loved that so much more.
Someone animated it. Someone animated the original script, not fully, but it's just like the dude's talking about the script, right? And he had animation done to it. It's incredible, dude. And I was like, why? Why'd you bring back Jar Jar? Why'd you do that, right? Freaking Jar Jar Abrams, man. But it's not just him. It was just Disney in general, bro. Like, Kathleen Kennedy stepping down finally, thank God. Like, it was just trash, bro. Trash. You need to have Dave Filoni take it over.
Yes.
And I forgot I forgot Starkiller's name. The actor that plays Darth Maul.
I know exactly who you're talking about. And I completely agree. Yes,
dude. Both of those guys need to take it over. Both of those guys need to take it over.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is a fan of Star Wars, and he's got some pretty good writing skills. Get him in there if he's down.
I don't like Freddie Prinze Jr. because he already talked about there's no gray Jedi and all this other jazz.
Oh, never mind.
Even though they established the middle ground in Rebels, whatever, dude.
You can't. Never mind. I get it, but never. I get the idea that George Lucas is the only good and bad. I get it, but I disagree. So this is the reason that I wanted to do this, is the point I'm trying to make, because there's so many people that because there's so many people that believe in conformity gate, and there's some people that didn't, that were making fun of people that believed in it, and now that we're finding out that this is all not real and it's just shit, they're like, get over it. Like, it's like, but these are the same people that also complain that we don't have anything good in theaters anymore. We don't have anything good on streaming anymore. It's like, but then you attack the people that are trying to voice their opinions about their issues with the writers and the directors. Like sometimes it's not just hate. Sometimes, like, and I will agree, sometimes people can be overly critical.
Absolutely.
Like there's people are nitpicking over. Yeah. They're like when you're doing your intentional heel stuff, that's different. Like, but people can be overly critical, but that's not what this is. Like you watch the season 5, you watch the documentary, and you find out stuff behind the scenes. And like it's
Godzilla versus Legendary.
it's you have to be okay to express your opinion, or else there will be no change. You cannot just sit idly by and bully and belittle the people who are voicing change.
My biggest complaint, though, Noah, honestly, with that, to piggyback off you, is the fact of the matter is, who is making the most money in the box office right now? Oh, that's right, indie filmmakers are. Indie filmmakers are making the most of the box office now.
Like their movies are good.
Their movies are good. And so you're telling me that these big companies are still like, we have no idea what's happening, and blaming the fans when indie filmmakers are making the most money.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, it's crazy. The last 3 movies the last 2 horror movies I just saw were both indie horror films, Night Patrol and Primate. I would definitely go see Night Patrol again. Primate, like they use practical effects. That's we'll talk about those in a different podcast, but like I would go back just to support the indie films because they chose to do things that big production companies will no longer do, which is take risks. And I'm sick of it. And bring back practical effects, please. Terrifier is showing you that practical effects are what is loved, even if it looks a little cheesy. Who cares? I like seeing Godzilla versus Legendary. I like seeing Godzilla in a suit. Put a man in a zipper suit. I don't care. It looks cool. I like the effort that's put into these designs.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, look at what the Housemaid did. You know, granted, 35 is relatively, big, but in terms of what it did, it still grossed damn near 250 million and independent, independent companies. So, yeah.
Telling you, bro.
I don't know. Maybe eventually it'll probably be at a point that's too late, but they'll eventually like, oh, maybe we should have listened. Maybe.
And guess what? That will never happen. They'll never say that.
Yeah, no. And there's one last thing I want to talk about. And that is Jennifer Marshall, who is the actress who played Max's mother. Who she was supposed to have
nowhere to be found?
Nowhere to be found in season 5. And yeah, so I'm gonna show some images. I'm gonna show some images in a second, but I just really wanted to so I wanted to point out that she got reached out to people after her comments on Instagram about what she had said, and they basically all said the same thing, that she was going to get blacklisted. I have a video again. I have a video from, it's TMZ, so you don't have to really trust the source, but it's her speaking directly on video, so I trust what she's saying. But she posted something on Instagram about basically like playing into the joke of like her mom not being around. And we found out that she was supposed to be in the season finale, season 4, in the hospital with Erica. And you can actually see her arm is there, but they cut her out of the scene. And it turns out she had cancer. And she basically, as she put it, she was dying. Like she was dying, and she looked like she was dying because of the treatments. And the way she put it is she basically just assumed that she also said she adores Sean and the Duffers still. Like she'll like, what the hell? But she basically said that she just assumed that you wouldn't want somebody who looks physically ill taking away from the overall scene of someone who is supposed to be the main point. Like, because Max was supposed to be the main point, but she didn't look ill. She looked like Max, just asleep. Yeah. But she looked ill because of the treatments, and she said that's how she justified it. And props to her for being so kind and forgiving in everything. But because like I couldn't imagine why anyone would assume, like, why would you blacklist someone for the post that I'm about to show you, by the way. This is her original post, by the way. So she just put this up. after the season had ended. That's all she put up. And then she says over here, okay, folks, it's over. But where was she? What kind of mother isn't there for her child while she's in the hospital? Give me all your theories. So she's playing into it. Like she's
playing into it.
Nice. She's playing into it. She's giving free promotion to Stranger Things. And then, you know, BuzzFeed has to do what BuzzFeed does best. Gossip without reaching out to her. And so she puts this up, and basically they took what she had said, and then they just took it out of context. And then she responds to their tweet down to their article down here, because she like, you didn't even reach out to me to get this quote. Like, you just took a quote and then said that I called you out called out Stranger Things amid a cancer diagnosis. And it is true. I don't know if it said in there, but if it did or didn't, it did affect her ability to afford treatment because of how the insurances work within the media industry. You know, it's all a scam. So she at one point couldn't afford her medication, and they were feeding into that. They wanted to make it seem like they were attacking her and attacking Stranger Things, and that's not what it was. And she was about to take, she's potentially about to take all the fall for this. And this is where I actually have to give TMZ props for deciding to give her a platform to just speak and like, yeah, this is not what happened. I was like, I love these guys. I just, you know, I was just making it's basically just a joke on Instagram. It's not even really what it was. It was nothing more than like playing into a fandom that she was a part of. And you want that from your actors, whether or not they're in the show still. Like the engagement is why you want to hire those people in the first place, to know that they're committed.
Well, that's just like it's on the opposite end of the spectrum, where I always butcher her last name, but Heather Matazzaro, who plays Randy's sister in the Scream franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fan who asked her the question, like, "Hey, is Joe your baby daddy?" Basically, of the twins. And she responded to a comment in which now it seems to be canon that Joe is indeed the father of the twins.
No,
you know what I mean?
That's funny. That's awesome.
Like, we love Heather Matarazzo over here.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, whether or not it is official that he is, like, she played up on it. So yes, you're right.
That's cool.
That, you know, that's what they want, that free press, that, you know. But
the fact that everyone talking, you know, now everyone was wondering, is Joel the killer, right? Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Joel and Martha meets, like, we're going back to Scream. It always comes back to Scream, kind of like Scream Behind the Mask. Funny, because we're all done here. We're all done talking about Stranger Things. Go ahead.
But back to it though, it's just messed up that controversy always creates, you know, buzz and all of that stuff. So I see what BuzzFeed was doing, but I'm glad, like you said, TMZ gave her a chance to to work it out.
Because that's not fair.
I hope, it's not fair. I hope that she doesn't get blacklisted, because to me, what she said, hey, we were all in agreement with. Like, where is she? You know,
dude, if I was the director, I'd play into it too. I'm like, where you at, girl? You know what I mean? Like,
it also appears that she's
somewhere,
doing
because the character was drunk in the show. Was she drunk somewhere? Like, you know what I mean?
Because you're still dealing with the depression and whatnot. Like it. Like I said, it does appear that she's doing better health-wise, which is great. I do hope that she gets work in the future. I don't want her to be blacklisted. Like, that would be insane. Like, that would just make me resent the whole Stranger Things universe even more, and it would make me want to watch their stuff even less now, because granted, they didn't do anything, but like, now she's being affected because of what happened with Stranger Things even more, and that's not fair. And I had another clip to show, but again, I don't know how to work the audio. This is my first time using this. Like I said, my first time. I'm hopping.
Great job, Noah.
Thank you.
You're doing awesome. Yes.
Pat on the back. But I was gonna leave it off with a little clip from Hot Ones, from Winona Ryder. But I will implore you to go watch Winona Ryder talk about season 5 of Stranger Things. It's about the 21-minute mark where they're asking her about what she has planned ahead, and
shout out to Hot Ones and Sean and that crew.
Yeah, she basically sums up how we all feel for this. She's like, I'm in Stranger Things season 5, I think. I don't know, I didn't watch it. And that's pretty much, yeah, like she got her bag and left, and I fully respect that too, like, because she was probably committed to a contract, so she had to commit to showing her face in season 5. We knew this with Henry Cavill with not being able to show his face in DC because of Netflix with their contracts. So I assume that they had something similar for her. But when you take out probably someone who's very important to the cast, not only on a professional level, but a personal level, because that's another thing. I didn't get to bring it up, but I'll bring it up real quick. There's several creators who are also talking about the divorce gate theory, that have mentioned that there were several photos on IMDb of the Stranger Things IMDb of Lee with the cast and crew, just talking with them, joking with them. And I went and looked myself because I wanted to confirm, all gone. Oh, and no I can't. And unfortunately, I can't even look her up by name because she doesn't have any credits on IMDb anyways. So there's no way to find her. But all of I triple scanned. I even like clicked one by one. They're nothing. And those photos are real because they're on Google Images. So you can go Google Images, you can find them, but they're not on IMDb anymore. So it's like if if it's true that she did this, like you're really going these lengths. That's wild. Like that's all the more wild. And hopefully something better comes of this. But yeah, let's end this off on a better note though. Let's get the
you have
trailer.
The audio to it?
I should, because it's not playing from a separate window. It's playing from here. Let me just find it real quick. Sorry guys.
Make sure when you put it up, right hand corner says share with audio.
Yeah.
Bottom right hand corner.
I'm trying to find the actual trailer. Hold on. Stand by, guys.
Standing by. Well, guys, while Noah's finding that, yep. Screen Behind the Mask. Again, we are trying to do the Indiegogo. I know we said we have it up in a couple of days, but they've made it a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. So we're doing a bunch of stuff on the back end, and we're just waiting for our confirmation to finally get it up. But once it does, all your support is going to be fantastic. We always appreciate it. Just to support indie filmmakers like us and others out there, please, 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 because as you see, the big Hollywood productions are not doing it justice. So we want to bring you great stories. We want to bring you great content just for your viewing pleasure, and we would love to have you guys on board in the future as well. So.
And then maybe they'll hire us to make Scream 8.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
Danny
I got
Vega in their box.
Yeah. Rise Productions. All right, let's get her going.
Hello? What's your favorite scary movie?
I hope you're not expecting me to say Scream.
Oh, why not?
The franchise recycles material over and over and over again.
Anything could happen.
The fact that the fact that it matches like heartbeats so accurately, I love it too, because you're definitely gonna get people who are gonna match their heartbeats gonna rhythm match, and it's like, oh god, I'm getting anxiety while watching that. I'm so excited. Oh, we got a comment.
I appreciate that. How are you the killer? I am not the killer. I'm behind the camera. I'm the cameraman. Cameraman never dies.
Find out.
Yep. But yeah, guys. Like I said, my uncle and his team, they're the ones that are scoring this. So Mr. Mambo and my uncle DJ Benny B are scoring this. With the trailer, I took because I take what they give me and I put it over, and I was the one that actually did the heartbeats. Where and when can we watch it? High Honor, we're gonna basically have it debut on YouTube. We'll make sure that we'll announce it to everyone. The tentative release date is February 20th, a week before Scream 7, to try to build up, Scream content into Scream 7. So that's the tentative date. If everything goes well, fingers crossed, but we need your help and other people's help to get these funds for the Indiegogo to make this a reality, because bigger the funds we raise, the faster this thing comes out, and that's our goal. Our goal is a week before Scream 7. So yeah, you can watch it here on my channel. The Danny Vega show is going to be rebranded as Rise Productions. So we'll announce that when it's rebranded, so everyone can make sure that you have it. If
It's
you're
no,
not
no, no.
subscribed to me, yeah, if you're not subscribed to me, subscribe to the Danny Vega show. So when that rebranding does happen, you're already there. So yeah, we're gonna release the trailer officially soon as the Indiegogo goes up, and then we're gonna get an exclusive sneak peek of the movie before the movie comes out, like an actual full scene of the movie before the movie actually comes out. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, and be sure to go on to the Indiegogo. We all worked really hard on getting that going, and Indiegogo is honestly our biggest barrier right now. which is funny. It's funny enough. Indiegogo is the biggest struggle that we've had so far, and if we get something out of it, but you get something out of it too. We got a bunch of cool merch that's going to be on there, a bunch of cool rewards that you're going to love on there. I don't want to. I'm not giving any of it away, but there's a bunch of stuff you're going to be on that you're going to love, and I will be buying some merch myself.
Yes,
I can tell you that because I'm a sucker for merch. I'm a swag.
Listen, I'm gonna buy my own stuff. You know what I mean? But again, you know, this is a donation based, right? So when you donate money, you know, we give you a gift. It's not actually buying, right? So just want to put that out there because we can't make money, right? It's just going straight into the film. But yeah, guys, once the Indiegogo goes up, we're gonna make the announcement. Campaign video is gonna release, then teaser trailer is gonna release, and then the full scene will release, and then the movie. So we're gonna have content building up into the release date, and that way we have a bunch of Scream content right into Scream 7. So
yes,
thank you
a
guys.
film for the fans before a film for the production company's wallets.
Yes, this is a film created by horror fans for horror fans. You know, I study Scream a lot. We took some liberties of making this an original. One of my ideas that I've had forever, we implemented it. My co-creator, Rafael Barges, he had an amazing idea, which we mentioned before, is that Michael Jackson and Scream have a big connection because that's how Scream, the movie, got its name. It's actually from Michael Jackson's Scream. So, you know, that piece of history we intertwined in there. We have a lot of homages to other horror films that we all love, the classics, you know. So we just wanted to make sure that we keep the feeling alive. And it does have that meta campiness like the original Scream, the first one. So, you know, I'm a big fan. We're all big fans here on Nerdbox. So we wanted to make sure that you, the fans, also enjoy the stuff that we enjoy and we all love and share together. So
it's cool too that the Michael Jackson stuff, like for younger audiences, like because I didn't know that it was originally based off of the Scream Michael Jackson music video. So for younger fans of Scream that are coming in, they're gonna find out a new piece of Scream information that they might not have known before, even though they're coming from this channel where we talk about pretty much everything Scream. So that so it's just another layer of coolness on top of already cool.
Absolutely. And then for people that are Michael Jackson fans, when you watch our Scream fan film, you know, there's a lot of homages to Michael Jackson himself. There are little Easter eggs all over this film for both horror fans and Michael Jackson fans, right? So, you know, I just can't wait for us to come together, you know what I mean, and just see what this is. And you know, I enjoyed it, and I enjoy making it, and I enjoy creating, and I enjoy my team here, Nerdbox, and you know, Dave and Lukas and everybody, and Marcus, you know, and Noah, because they all contributed to this, man. So we all as a team have contributed to make this thing a reality. So couldn't be more grateful for everybody.
Listen, your success is our success. That's how I see it. Like your successes is our successes, and that also goes to the people in the comments too. I like your successes. And like King Matthew got married and had a kid throughout the history of this podcast. So like props to King Matthew for that. So like the same deal. Like we're in it to make sure that people can succeed, and so there's no like, you know, when any opportunity to help comes up, obviously we jump on that chance. Before we go, Marcus, do you have anything to add? Anything that you're working on? Anything you're doing?
Yeah. So I have a project with the director writer out here, Duffer Brothers. We have a slasher film that I'm co-producing named Scissormouth. It is racking up all kind of awards. The script itself. So we're looking to hopefully have cameras rolling soon. So I'm super excited about that. That's getting some buzz. So yeah, I will keep you all posted on that pretty soon. And of course, the stream board game as well. So Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna have some updates about that soon too. So be tuned for Scream Behind the Mask, which is coming out hopefully mid-February. We got the board game, which is hopefully coming out soon, and now we have Marcus working on Scissor Mouth as well. So hopefully we get pen to paper so we can get lights, camera, action for you now, because
there you go.
Yeah.
And then before Noah goes,
before I go,
Noah and Dave and Marcus, they're working on a project that I may be a part of, right? So man, it's cool for the nerd box. It's cool. We can't talk about too much, but it's cool if we all get the green light and the entire nerd box crew is working on this. It'll be an amazing thing to have all of us together finally again and do it up.
All I can say is Dave and Noah cooked up something great, and Danny and I are just excited to be a part of it. But we got a whole Marvel scale universe. Well, not as sloppy as Marvel, but we got our own little universe set up for this little.
She-Hulk tried her best. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
So to get your mouth watering without telling you anything, if we do it right and we get to do what we want to do, it'll hopefully play out the same way that Scream Behind the Mask is looking to play out. Yeah. And it's going to do new things that we haven't seen in the horror genre really that much, and also pay homage to a lot of the Nerdbox Cinematic Universe.
The
NCU.
Yeah.
Yes, high honor. Yes. High on horror.
The Noah Cinematic Universe.
NCHU.
I agree.
NCHU.
No, NBHCU. I guess it would be. I don't know.
Nerdbox Horror Cinematic Universe. Nerdbox Horror Cinematic Universe.
We'll come up with it. I think the NCU might be it. But we got to do a lowercase n. It's got to be a lowercase n and then the capital CU.
Yeah,
that'll get
Nerdbox Cinematic Universe. I like that. The NCU, baby.
Well, we got other stuff.
We're gonna make shirts now. We got to make shirts now. NCU, baby. Nerdbox Cinematic Universe. Baby.
Yes. I'm hitting the sketching board, the sketching pad after this, and I'm gonna tell you guys this because I don't think you know about this either. But I can't say anything. Dave and I are also working on other stories that are going to be very. As Millie Bobby Brown, no, I can't say it. Sorry, never mind.
Don't say too much. Don't say too much.
No, I'm already saying too much. Yeah, we're gonna hit the outro. And So I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you for tuning in to the Wednesday podcast. Thank you, Danny and Marcus, for tuning in from your busy schedules.
Anytime.
For Dave and Marcus, or for Dave and Lucas who are not here, they're off doing work. We'll see you Sunday. We'll all see you Sunday, hopefully. But yeah, peace. Check out
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and
subscribe Danny's channel. But hopefully I will have my very first out of theater reaction to 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple up for you guys.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, dude, it's such a good movie. It's such a good. I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm indifferent.
Are you? All right, I'm excited to talk about it then. I don't think we're talking about it on Sunday, but whenever we do talk about it, I'm excited to talk about it. All right, outro commence. I couldn't afford to make a different outro, guys. I spent the budget on the intro and the tie that I'm currently wearing.
Now you're sounding like the Duffer Brothers, bro.
Yeah, the 400 million guys that went to the intro. That's all I had for you. And the whiteboard. I got the
intro
the
was
murder
good,
board behind you.
That intro was dope, though.
Thank you. I tried my best.